pretty good. Bring it a little. Please stand by. We'll be ready to go here in a minute. Again, I connected right away for the second time in a row. So that's a good thing. Heated up about a half cup of what was left of morning's coffee. It was in a carafe, so it's pretty good. I always take it off the coffee maker and pour it directly into the carafe when it's made, so that you're not cooking it over and over on the burner. That's what makes it nasty. So I'm a couple minutes early, but I'm going to go ahead and get underway here. This is Steve Aquilong saying, hey, happy Saturday evening to everybody. Be sure to click that subscribe button. And I'll continue to try to improve and bring you some entertaining games in the replay of the 1966 baseball season here with Strat-O-Matic Baseball. In my opinion, far and away the best baseball simulation game that was ever made. The original, and still the best. All right, for today's game, we're on April 13th, 1966. We've got the Kansas City Royals at the God, already I'm screwing up. We have the Kansas City Athletics at the Minnesota Twins. These were the Kansas City Athletics before they moved to Oakland and became the Oakland A's. So Kansas City at Minnesota. As I said, April 13th, 1966. We've got two righties going today. That's Raleigh Sheldon for Kansas City. It says Boston on the cars. Another case of a guy who was traded in mid-season. In fact, in the case of the Kansas City Athletics, as I mentioned in game one of this three-game series, it appears that they traded around 40% of their team during the course of this season. Camilo Pascual will be on the mound for Minnesota, another righty. Respectable ERA of 4.12 for Sheldon, a bit high at 4.89 for Pascual. But anyway, those are your starters. Weather is good. Beautiful evening for a ball game, so let's get you that Kansas City lineup. Jose Tartabull will play center field and bat leadoff. Mike Hirschberger will be in right field, batting second. Wayne Causey will be the shortstop in the 3 spot. Billy Bryan will be the catcher, batting cleanup. Dick Green's at second base, hitting 5th. Larry Stahl in left field will bat 6th. Ken Harrelson at first base, hit 7th. Ed Charles will be the third baseman and bat 8th. And Raleigh Sheldon, the pitcher, bats 9th. I believe this is the exact same lineup as the first game of the series. This is the second game of a 3-game set. And with that, we're about ready to get underway. So Pascual takes the mound. Tartabull steps in from the left side. And the umpire shouts, play ball. Pascual stares in to get his sign from Earl Batty, and here's the pitch. That's going to be a 6-6 to the lefty. Grounder down to second. That's going to be Allen. He's got it, and there's one away. And that will bring up Mike Hirschberger, the right fielder. He bats right-handed. Pascual gets the sign. Here's the windup and the pitch. It's a 6-4 to the right-hander. That's going to be a grounder to third base X. That's Killebrew. He's a 4E24. So this could be trouble. Here's the roll for the play. That's a 5 on a 4, and that gets by Killebrew and down the line for a double. So Killebrew maybe should have had that one. So that goes as a double 5X, and Hirschberger standing on second with one away. Let me check my... Seems to me I could have a little bit more of the field here. Let's slide that up. Bear with me. I'm trying to make this nice. Okay, that's pretty good. All right, so Hirschberger on second and one away, and Wayne Causey the batter. Causey stands in from the left side. Pasquale from the stretch now winds and delivers. That's a 2-4 against the righty. Pop up, right side. Allen's there and puts it away, and there's 2 down. So 2 down, Hirschberger still standing on second. And that'll bring up Billy Bryan, the left-handed hitting catcher. Bryan's got some pop. I don't really remember Billy Bryan. Let's check his numbers that year. He only batted 172 and 145 at-bats with 4 home runs. So yeah, kind of interesting that he was hitting cleanup for the Athletics. But he was, and here he is. And here's Pasquale's pitch. That's a 2-3 to the righty. Grounder down to first. Mincher has it. He'll take it to the bag himself, and that'll retire the side. So no runs, a hit, the double by Hirschberger. A man left on. And we go to the bottom of the first, scoreless. Raleigh Sheldon begins warming. He's getting set to go here, and while he is, I will give you the Minnesota Twins lineup. Zoilo Versailles, the shortstop, hits leadoff. Sandy Valdespino in left field hitting second. Tony Oliva bats third and plays right field. Harmon Killebrew, the third baseman, in the cleanup spot. Don Mincher will bat fifth and play first base. Jimmy Hall in center, hit sixth. Earl Batty, the catcher, batting seventh. Bernie Allen will be the second baseman and hit eighth. And Pasquale will hit ninth. So ready to go here in the bottom of the second. No score in the ball game. Sheldon gets his sign from Bryan, the windup and the pitch. That's a 3-9 against the righty. Swung on and missed strike 3. So Sheldon whiffs Versailles, and here comes Sandy Valdespino. Valdespino, a left-handed batter. In fact, I think this is the exact same lineup for the Twins as the first game of the series as well. So both teams playing the same lineups. Sheldon ready to work now. Winds and deals. 1-7. That's going to be a grounder down to second. That'll be Dick Green. He's there and throws him out. And here comes Tony Oliva. Oliva, fantastic player. Let's see what he did that year. 307 he batted with 32 doubles, 25 home runs, 87 runs batted in. So a fine year for a fine ball player. And with 2 down, he comes to bat, and here's Sheldon's pitch to him. That's a 3-8 against the righty. Fly ball into right field, playable. Hirschberger's there. And that'll retire the side. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for Sheldon, and we are scoreless after 1. Pasquale getting ready to go here. And Dick Green will be leading it off in the second for Kansas City, the Kansas City Athletics. Pasquale ready now. Gets the sign from Batty, and here's the pitch to Green. That's a 2-9 against the righty. Tapper down to third. Killebrew's there. He's got it this time, and he throws him out. That'll bring up Larry Stahl. Stahl, a left-handed hitter. Stahl, a little power, not a lot. About an average major league hitter, I'd say, for that period. Pasquale now ready and winds and deals. 3-10 against the righty. Tapper back to the mound. Pasquale knocks it down, picks it up, throws to first in time. And quickly there's 2 away. And that'll bring up Ken Hawk Harrelson. And yeah, this is the same Ken Harrelson who for many years was a broadcaster for the White Sox. 237 with 12 home runs that season in real life. Pasquale now winds and deals. That's going to be a 5-9 to the righty. Grounder to short X. That's Versailles. He's a 2E44, and here's the roll on the play. A 2 on a 2, that gets under Versailles' glove, and that's into left field for a base hit. So that ball looked playable for Versailles, but they're going to rule it a single. Harrelson's an asterisk 18, and he'll have to be held on. So Batty, Pasquale a +4 with Batty. That's the most he can be. A 19. So he's going to try for the lead. He needs a 4 or a 5. He's got the 5. He's going 1-19. And he's in there. Harrelson swipes second. So stolen base for Hawk Harrelson. And that puts the runner in scoring position with 2 away. So stolen base Harrelson, and that'll bring up Ed Charles, the third baseman. Pasquale from the stretch now. And here's his pitch to Charles. That's a 6-10 versus the right-hander. Grounder down to third. Easy play for Killebrew. Throws across in time, and that will retire the side. So no runs, a hit, a man left. And we're still scoreless moving to the bottom of the second. Raleigh Sheldon getting loose for the second. I'll take this opportunity to take a little sip of my coffee. Alrighty. So Killebrew, Mincher, and Hall due for the Twins. Sheldon set to go now. Gets his sign, the windup, and the pitch. 5-2 to the right-hander. Grounder to first base, X. That's going to be Harrelson. He's a 4E18. Here's the roll on the play, an 11. That goes to the error range. That's going to be a 5 on an 18. This could be trouble. And he boots it, sure enough. That'll be an error on Harrelson. So an error for Minnesota, and that puts Killebrew on first with nobody out. Killebrew, no threat to run. And Don Mincher will be out, the left-handed hitting first baseman. Sheldon a glance at first, and now from the stretch comes to the plate. 3-7, swung on and missed strike 3. Down goes Mincher on strikes. So 1 down, and Jimmy Hall will be the hitter. That's the second K of the game for Sheldon. Sheldon gets his sign now, checks the runner from the stretch. 5-5 to the lefty, fly into center field, medium deep. That's going to be Tartable. That'll be an easy play for Tartable, and there's 2 down. And with 2 down, the batter will be Earl Batty, the right-handed hitting catcher. Sheldon from the stretch. And here's the pitch. 4-6 to the righty. Fly into center. Tartable ranging to his right and puts it away. So no runs, no hits, a man left on the error, and we're scoreless after 2. Pasquale taking his warm-ups. As we move along to the top of the third, Raleigh Sheldon, the pitcher, will be leading it off for Kansas City. Sheldon, a right-handed hitting pitcher. He stands in now, and Pascal winds and deals. That's going to be a 6-10 to the righty. Grounder down to third. That's Killebrew. He's been busy down there today. And he throws him out. So 4 plays to third base already. 3 putouts. And the questionable double that got past Killebrew. And that'll bring the top of the lineup back around. Jose Tartable will be the batter. Pasquale winds and deals. 4-3 to the lefty. And that's deep to right field. But that'll be a single because Tartable's a weak. Holy cow, let's look at that again. 4-3, left-handed hitter, end home run. Tartable is a weak, so that becomes a single. Tartable, very fast. He'll have to be held on. Again, with Pascal a +4, Batty's a 0. That makes him the most he can be, a 19. So held on, he'll be a 17. And he's going to try for the lead. 2 through 5 or a 12. It's a 10. He just missed it. So Tartable does not get a good lead. That would make him a 1 through 11 if he wanted to try to steal. So we won't be attempting that. Instead, Mike Hirschberger will hit away. Hirschberger doubled in the first on a liner just past Killebrew. Pascal's set, and here's the pitch. That's a 2-10 against the righty. Line drive, speared by Allen. Holy cow, nice play, Allen. And there's 2 down. So Hirschberger stung it, but right at the second baseman. And with 2 away, Wayne Causey will be the batter. Tartable still at first. Pascal throws over there. Tartable back to the bag. Takes his lead again, and Pascal from the stretch, the pitch to Causey. That's a 4-9 against the lefty. Swung on and missed, strike 3, and that will retire the side. So for Kansas City, no runs, a hit, a man left. And we go to the bottom of the third, still scoreless. Sheldon warming. Bottom the order for the Twins. Bernie Allen with the pitcher Pascal on deck. Sheldon ready to go now. The windup and the pitch to Allen. That's a 6-5 to the lefty. Grounder down to first. That's Harrelson. Flips to Sheldon covering, and there's 1 away. And here's Pascal. He is a right-handed batting pitcher. 3 pitchers hitting card. Sheldon winds and deals. That's going to be a 4-7 to the righty. Tapper down to short. Causey to his left, scoops it up and throws him out. And with 2 down, Versailles will be the batter. Versailles struck out in the first. Sheldon gets his sign, the windup and the pitch. It's a 2-5, grounder to short. That's going to be Causey. He's got it and throws him out. So a 1-2-3 inning for Sheldon, and we're scoreless after 3 complete. So a pitcher's duel here from two fairly unlikely sources, quite frankly. And we move along to the fourth. Pascal waiting. Billy Bryan finally steps into the box. Left-handed hitting catcher. Pascal stares in. The windup and the pitch to Bryan. That's a 4-9 to the lefty. Swung on and missed strike three. And down goes Bryan. Dick Green coming to the plate now. Green, the right-hander. Pascal staring in, gets his sign, winds and deals. That's a 4-8. That's a base hit up the middle for Green. So Green has a one-out single as the Athletics try to get something going here in the fourth. He's not an asterisk stealer, but he is a 17. 19. So he'd be a 19 not held. And we will not hold him due to the minuscule chance to get the lead. He would have to roll a 4, but he's going to try for it. Doesn't get it. So no good lead established for Dick Green. Green, a 1-13 runner. And that'll bring up Larry Stahl. Stahl tapped back to the mound in the second. Pascal set to go now, and from the stretch, the pitch to Stahl. That's a 4-7 to the lefty. Single to 4, but it's a 6, so that will be a liner speared by Allen. Liner to second base, and there's 2 down. Let's check that again. 4-7 lefty. Yep. Line out to second. So with 2 away and a man on first, Hawk Harrelson will be the hitter. Pascal from the stretch, and here's the pitch. That's a 5-7 to the righty. That's a base hit into right field, and Green can try to advance on that. With 2 outs, not held, he's a 1-15. The right fielder's Oliva, however, a -2 makes him a 1-13, and he's going to hold. You do not want to make the last out of the inning at third base, and he would have a 35% chance of being thrown out if he attempted to advance there. So the Royals, I keep calling them the Royals. The Athletics will play that conservatively. That's right, the Kansas City Athletics. I can't seem to get that through my head. It's funny, I didn't have any problems with it in the first game of the series. So first and second, 2 down, and here's Ed Charles, the third baseman. Pascal in a bit of a jam here, trying to get out of it. Gets the sign from Batty, and here's the pitch from the stretch. That's a 4-10. Fly to left field, that's playable. Valdespino's there, and that'll do it. So the Athletics get a pair of hits, but they strand them both. And we go to the bottom of the fourth, still scoreless. So scoreless duel so far as Sheldon gets ready to work here in the bottom of the inning. The Twins will have Valdespino, and then the heart of the order, Oliva and Killebrew, do up. So Sheldon getting his sign, the windup and the pitch. That's a 4-10 to the left-hander. Oh, look at that, would you? Fly to center, playable, caught by Tartable, but right in the middle of all of the home runs. So a deep fly ball to center. Tartable snares it on the track. And that gave the fans a little bit of excitement there, but it was playable. He maybe got under it just a little too much. So with 1 down, Tony Oliva will be the batter. Sheldon into the windup. Here's the pitch to Tony Oliva. That's a 3-9 against the righty. A single to 2, but it's a 12, and that's going to be a line drive caught by Green instead. So Oliva lines out to second base, and with 2 down, Harmon Killebrew will be the hitter. Killebrew reached on an error in the second. I need to adjust this seat a little bit here. All right, we're set to go now. Sheldon into the windup, and here's his delivery to Killebrew. That's a 2-10 righty. Base hit into left field for Killebrew. So a 2-out single for Killebrew. And Don Mincher strikes to the plate. Mincher's got a little pop. Sheldon from the stretch. The pitch to Mincher. 6-10 to the left-hander. That's catcher's card X. That's going to be Brian. He's a 4E12. So this could be interesting. Here's the roll for the play. 10, that's the error frequency. That will be a 6 on an E12. And he boots it. It's an error on Brian. So Killebrew will have to hold at second. That's an error charged to Kansas City. So each team has made 1 error so far. And Minnesota now has first and second and 2 out, and Jimmy Hall steps to the plate. Sheldon trying to get out of this now. Gets the sign from Brian, and here's the pitch. That's a 1-5. Tapper back to the mound. Sheldon's got it. Flips to first, and that will retire the side. So no runs, a hit, and a man left, and we're still scoreless after 4 complete. Yeah, the Kansas City Athletics. You know, there's a great story about the reason why they moved to Oakland. And if you'll indulge me, I will share that with you here. Charlie Finley, after he bought the team, he had always been envious of the Yankees' success. So at one point, he hired a coach or a front office guy or somebody in the organization. He stole them away from New York and hired them to work for the Athletics. And he said, what is the secret to the Yankees' success? And the other guy responded, well, in a nutshell, we had the short right field porch. So we just stockpiled left-handed hitters and left-handed pitchers, and that worked. Well, of course, that was oversimplified, but Finley, being frankly a little bit crazy, took it to heart and decided to have his ballpark restructured to the exact dimensions of Yankee Stadium. The only problem with that was Yankee Stadium's short right field porch had been built before the league rules for the distance to the fences had been established. So it was no longer legal to do that. I think at that point the minimum down the line you could have was 310 or 330 feet, something like that. And Yankee was, say, 290. I'm just throwing these figures out there for the point of the discussion. I don't know the exact dimensions. Anyway, the league office informed Finley that he could not do that. Well, not to be deterred, Finley had the grounds crew paint a chalk line in right field at the distance that would have been the wall in Yankee Stadium, and then instructed his announcers to say, every time a ball was hit beyond that point, ladies and gentlemen, that would have been a home run in Yankee Stadium. At a certain point, a team was crushing him so badly, they'd actually hit like 3 or 4 home runs over the real right field wall. Then somebody belted one over the line, and the announcer started to say, ladies and gentlemen, that would have. At that point, Finley burst into the broadcasting booth, told the guy to shut the hell up. Finley supposedly was so embarrassed by this that his image had been tarnished in Kansas City, that his only recourse was to move the team. And that supposedly, you can believe it or not, is how they became the Oakland A's. So anyway, back to this game. Top of the 5th, scoreless. Sheldon will lead off for Kansas City. Right-handed hitting pitcher stands in as Pasquale goes into the windup. And here's the pitch. That's a 4-4 to the righty. Catcher's card X. That's going to be Batty. He's a 2E2. Fine defensive catcher. A 2 on a 2 will be a pop out to the catcher. So an easy play for Batty. And there's one down. Jose Tartable will be the hitter now. From the left side, standing in there is Pascal winds and deals. 4-6 to the lefty. Tapper down to first. That's Mincher. He's got it. Flips to Pascal covering, and quickly there's 2 away. That'll bring up Mike Hirschberger, 1 for 2 today, doubled in the first. Pascal gets his sign, winds and delivers. Well, hi, Tony. .410 to the righty. That's going to be a fly ball into left field. Valdespino's there in his tracks practically and puts it away, and we've got an easy 1-2-3 inning for Pascal. I read that in a Bill James abstract, actually, and I may have messed up a couple of the minor details, but the gist of the story remains the same. Sheldon getting ready to go to work here in the bottom of the inning. Still no score in the ball game. It'll be the bottom of the Twins order. Batty, Allen, and the pitcher's spot. Sheldon into the windup now, and here's the pitch to Batty. That's a 4-9. That's going to be deep to left field. Bat goes stall. That's off the wall for a double. So let's check that again. 4-9 righty, homer to 8. Roll is an 18, and that is indeed a leadoff double for Batty. Batty knows speed, of course, as true for most catchers. And that'll bring up Bernie Allen, the second baseman. Sheldon from the stretch now. And here's his pitch to Allen. That's a 5-6 to the lefty. That's a base hit up the middle. And Batty could try to score on that, but he's a 1-8 runner. Center fielder's a +1. That doesn't help much. He's gonna have to hold up at third base. There's just no way. So a base hit by Allen puts runners on the corners with nobody out. And Pascal will be the batter. Kansas City, expecting the bunt, pulls the infield in. Pascal, however, is a D bunter. So with the infield in, my God, do they even have an E bunter? They do. I think he has to bunt anyway to try to stay out of the double play. So Sheldon will try to lay down the bunt. He's an E. That's a 7 on an E. Oh, no, that's not right. That's a force play. It says here leading runner is thrown out, but the runner on third would never be thrown out on that play. So what we have here is a force play. We're going to call that 2-4. Allen's forced, Batty holds, and Pascal to first. And that's the first out of the inning. Yes, I'm pretty sure on the computer game that's how it's played. There's no way in hell that Batty would try to go to the plate on that. So 1 down, runner's still at the corners, and Zoilo Versailles will be the hitter. Sheldon still from the stretch and delivers. That's a 1-5. That's going to be a base hit into left field for Versailles. That'll score Batty this time for sure. He can walk home. And Allen can actually try to go for third on that. So that's 1-5. Single to left. What is Allen? Allen's a 1-12. The left fielder is Stahl, who's a 0. That's a tough one. No, I don't think he would risk that. We're not going to risk that. So that'll be an RBI single for Versailles. That'll score Batty. Actually, it's Pascal who's the runner. I beg your pardon. So he's a 1-10. There's no way they're going to send the pitcher. He holds at second. So 1 run in finally breaks the scoreless deadlock. It's 1-0 Twins. There's 1 away, and they still have runners at first and second. That is the pitcher, Pascal, at second, and Versailles at first, and Sandy Valdespino will be the batter. And it looks like we're going to have some activity in the Twins' bullpen. Johnny Clipstein begins to loosen. Sheldon ready to work now from the stretch, and here's the pitch to Valdespino. That's a 5-6 to the left-hander. Base hit up the middle. Again, Pascal can try to score on that. He's a 1 through 10. Center field a 0. Yeah, there's no way. No way. Unfortunately, he'll have to hold up. So a single by Valdespino loads the bases. And there's still only one out, remember. And here comes Alvin Dark. He's seen enough. That's going to be all for Sheldon. So Sheldon only lasts 4 1/3. He allowed 5 hits. Only 1 run so far, but the sacks are full and they're all his. Did he walk a batter? I don't think he walked a batter. No, he didn't walk anybody. He struck out 2. So he pitched scoreless ball for 4 innings, and as we've seen happen so many times, it can unravel so quickly in 1 inning. So Kansas City needs a pitcher. They'd like to have a lefty in this situation. 2 of the next 3 batters are left-handed. Paul Lindblad pitched in this game in real life, and that's good enough for me. They're going to bring in Paul Lindblad, the left-hander. Lindblad, 5-10 with a 4.17 that year as a starter reliever. 121 innings. So Lindblad coming in relief of Sheldon. And he's got Oliva with Harmon Killebrew on deck with the sacks full and 1 out. So not an enviable position for Lindblad as he gets set to go to work here in the bottom of the 5th. Lindblad gets his sign now from Brian, and here's the pitch from the stretch. 2-4. Pop up, right side. That's just what he needed. Green's under it. He's got it, and there's 2 down. So that was a big out for Lindblad, as runners cannot advance. But he's not out of the woods yet as big Harmon Killebrew strides to the plate. Killebrew, a ton of power, especially versus lefties. Lindblad's pitch to Killebrew. That's a 3-6 fly to left, but not deep enough. Stalls there, and he's got it, and that will retire the side. So Lindblad comes in and puts out the fire. But the Twins do score one run on 4 hits, and they leave the bases loaded. At the end of 5 complete, it's Minnesota 1, Kansas City nothing. And at that point, I'm going to take a short break and fix myself another cup of coffee here quickly. All right, that will only take a minute to make. So we move along to the 6th inning, 1-0 Twins. Causey, Bryan, and Green due up for Kansas City. Pasquale ready to go now. The windup and the pitch to Causey. That's a 5-5 against the left-handed batter. He flies it into right field. That's going to be playable for Oliva. Easy play for Oliva, and there's one down. And that'll bring up Brian, the left-handed hitting catcher. Brian, you might remember in the first game, had all kinds of trouble with runners stealing on him. Here's the pitch from Pascal. 5-5 to the lefty. Fly to right, Oliva to his left a few steps, and he's got that one. So quickly, 2 down in the 6th. And here's Dick Green. I remember Dick Green for his amazing defensive show he put on in the 1974 World Series. And here's Pascal's pitch to Green. That's a 5-5 to the righty. That's a fly ball into left field. That's Valdespino. He's there. And a quick 1-2-3 inning for Pascal. So the Athletics go down in order. And we go to the bottom of the 6th, 1-0 Minnesota. Lindblad will come out to pitch the 6th again, or come out again to pitch the 6th, I should say. As Mincher and Hall are left-handed batters. All right, so Lindblad ready to work now. Gets his sign, and here's the pitch to Mincher. 3-11 against the lefty. That's a double to 1, but he's going to settle for a long single to left center. Tartable on it quickly and gets it back in. So Mincher will settle for the long single, and he's on board to lead off the 6th. He's a 13. Lindblad's a +3. Brian's a +3 catcher. So the most it can be is 5. That would make him a 1-18 not held. And he's going to have to roll a 6 to establish the good lead. Kansas City's going to have to hold him on here. They're already trailing by a run. So that would make him a 18. Held on, he'll be a 16. He's going to try for the lead. He needs a 6. He got a 6. Here he goes. And he's in there. Could you believe that? Don Mincher. A stolen base. So Mincher into second on the stolen base. And now the Twins have something going here in the bottom of the 6th. Let's see Mincher's stealing that here. He only stole 3 bases and was caught twice. So yeah, I mean, that's a rare steal for Mincher. And that'll bring up Jimmy Hall. Hall, left-handed hitter. Lindblad ready to work here. Meanwhile, Kansas City gets a right-hander up in their pen. That'll be Jim Nash warming. And here's the pitch from Lindblad to Hall. 3-4 against the lefty. Grounder down to shortstop. Causey's there. 2 second, back to first, double play. Holy cow, let's look at that again. No, there's a runner on second. I take that back. Mincher stole second, so there is no double play. 3-4, grounder to short. So that's 6-3 and runner holds. My apologies. So the play goes down to Causey. He looks the runner back and throws him out. And that's the first out of the inning. So Mincher at second with 1 down, and that'll bring up Earl Batty. Lindblad ready to work now, and from the stretch, the pitch to Batty. 3-8 against the lefty. Grounder to short A. Same play. That's Causey. Throws across, 2 down. So Mincher's still standing at second with 2 away, and here's Bernie Allen. Lindblad trying to get out of this now. And here's the pitch to Allen. That's a 4-9, swung on and missed, strike 3. So after a leadoff single and a stolen base, Lindblad retires 3 batters in a row. And for the Twins, that's going to be no runs on a hit, one left. After 6 complete, it's Minnesota 1, Kansas City nothing. Pascal still out there for the Twins. 1 minute, that coffee should be done. Oh yeah, that's much better. Fresh cup. So, we move along to the 7th inning now in a 1-0 ball game. Pascal is rated as a 6 for endurance. So he's already pitched 1 possible endurance inning. So that means that Clipstein will begin throwing lightly in the Minnesota pen, just in case. Stahl, Harrelson, and Charles due for Kansas City here. Pascal winds and deals. 6-7 to the lefty. Swung on and missed, strike 3. And down goes Stahl on strikes. For Pascal, let's see now. He doesn't have that many. 1, 2. That's only his 3rd strikeout of the game. Not really a strikeout pitcher, was he? 56 in 103 innings, so no, not particularly. And with 1 down, Hawk Harrelson will be the hitter. Kansas City trying to get something going. Pascal delivers. The pitch to Harrelson is a 1-9, swung on and missed, strike 3. So Pascal, seeing Clipstein warming up in the bullpen, saying, hey, wait a minute here, I'm not done. And here comes Ed Charles with 2 down. Pascal gets the sign from Batty, and here's the pitch to Charles. 4-7, that's a single to 15, and that will be a single into left field for Charles. So a 2-out single for Ed Charles. Charles has some speed, too. He'll have to be held on. +4. That's a 19 held on. He's a 17, and Charles is going to try for the lead. 2 through 5 or 11. It's an 11. So that is, what did I say he was? He's a 16. He's a 19 -2 for being held on. 1 to 17. Here he goes. And he's in there by the skin of his teeth on a 16. So stolen base Charles. That's the 3rd stolen base of the game. So Charles is in scoring position, and that means that we're going to have a pinch hitter for Lindblad. No, for Lindblad. No, I'm sorry. What the hell is going on here? What am I doing? Okay, that's right. Pascal's pitching. Yes, for Lindblad. I had it right the first time. So Lindblad went 1 2/3, and he'll yield for a pinch hitter here. He gave up no hits, no walks, struck out 1. Sheldon allowed the only run. So with 2 outs and a man in scoring position, Kansas City will send up a hitter for Lindblad. And that is going to be, see, we've got a righty. In real life, they used Stone. Let me take a look at Stone here. Ron Stone was a left-handed batter. He would be represented by this nameless card. Let's see if they have another left-handed batter. They've got Talton, who's a catcher. They probably wouldn't hit their last catcher here. Yeah, actually, as far as a left-handed batter goes, what about a righty? I want to give Kansas City every opportunity to tie here. Heck, why not? We're going to go with Bert Campaneris. Apparently, Campaneris didn't start the year as a starting shortstop. He had 573 at-bats, so he played a lot. And in the first 2 games of the season, Cossey started at short. Anyway, no matter. Campaneris is going to get an at-bat here, pinch hitting for the pitcher. So Bert Campaneris, sometimes called Campy Campaneris, he steps up there. We've got a runner in scoring position. That's Charles. He is a 1 through 16 runner. And Pascal from the stretch now. Here's the pitch to Campaneris. That's going to be a 3-5. Grounder to short. That's playable for Versailles. He's got it, and that'll retire the side. So Bert Campaneris makes his debut of the season. Taps out to shortstop. For Kansas City, no runs, a hit, a man left. And we go to the bottom of the 7th, still 1-0 Twins. They're going to be bringing in a new pitcher, which, as I mentioned previously, is going to be Johnny Clipstein. No. Good grief, what am I doing here? Clipstein's Minnesota pitcher. So we've got, okay, let's see who's coming to bat for the Twins, first of all. They'd like to have a left-handed pitcher here if they could. How about this? They really don't have one, though. So who would be the likely candidate? Not the closer. Not Odom, he's a starter only. Here we go, this is who it's going to be. Lou Krause is going to come on for Kansas City. He had a 2.99 earned run average as a starter reliever in 178 innings. So that's a good choice here. Lou Krause, Krausse. And for the Twins in the bottom of the 7th, they're going to have the pitcher leading off, so they have a decision to make. They've gotten 7 excellent innings out of Pascal. He's a 6 endurance rating. You know what I'm going to say? I say the guy's pitching a damn shutout. Why the hell would you take him out of the game? So Pascal's going to bat. Krause ready to work now, and here's Pascal, steps in from the right side, and here's the pitch from Krause. That's a 1-11. That's a single to 6. Liner speared by Green. So hell, Pascal almost gets a base hit, but he hit it right at the second baseman. And here comes Zoilo Versailles. Versailles is 1 for 3 today. Krause ready to work to him now, and here's the pitch. That's a 3-7 against the righty. That's a grounder down to third base. Charles is there. Throws him out, and quickly there's 2 away. Valdespino is now up. Sandy Valdespino. 2 down, nobody on, 1-0 Twins, and here's Krause pitching to Valdespino. 4-9 to the lefty. It's a single to 2, and look at that, it is a 2. A liner just past the outstretched glove of Green and into right field for a 2-out single. Valdespino's an asterisk 15, so he'll have to be held on, and that'll bring up Tony Oliva. They're not going to try anything funny on the bases with Oliva batting, but he is held on, and that can come into play as we know. So Krause from the stretch now. Tony Oliva standing in from the left side. The Twins would love an insurance run right here. And here's Krause's pitch from the stretch. That's a 3-6. That's a base hit with a 2-base advance into right field. Valdespino steams into third. Oliva has a 2-out single. So runners at the corners. And that'll bring up Harmon Killebrew. So Valdespino on third, Oliva on first. Let's check his running. He was pretty fast. He's an asterisk 15. Krause is 0 with the +3 of Bryan. He'll have to be held on. So they won't be able to play the infield as you cannot hold on and have the infield in at the same time. That's a Strat-O-Matic rule. So runner at first held, first and third, 1 out. No, I'm sorry, 2 down. 2 down, first and third, and here's Killebrew. Krause's pitch from the stretch. That's a 4-9 to the righty. Ball 4, he loses him, and the bases are loaded. Holy cow, what's his endurance? Relief 4, so no endurance problems for Krause. I kind of say this is Krause's inning. He could bring a left-hander. Oh, that's right, they don't have another left-hander, do they? Let's check the Kansas City pen. They do not. They have 4 right-handers down there. So it really doesn't make any difference. Krause is as good as anybody in this situation, and he's going to pitch to Mincher. 2 away, and the bases are loaded. Here's the pitch. 2-2. It's a single on a 1, but it's going to be a liner speared by Green. Oh, my God. So the fans got excited over that one, but Green spears it, and that retires the side. No runs, 2 hits, bases left full of Twins. And at the end of 7 complete, it's still 1-0 Minnesota. I've got to remember to not start these broadcasts this late, because this old man my brain starts to go dead once the sun goes down, it seems, these days. Hey, as they say, it beats the alternative. When people say, oh, he's old. Well, yeah, it beats the alternative. Right? So we move along to the 8th inning, still 1-0 Twins. The Kansas City Athletics, again, will have the top of the order. That'll be Tartabull, Hirschberger, and Causey. Pascal's still out there. Gets the sign from Batty, and here's the pitch to Tartabull. That's a 3-10. Pop up right side. Allen calling for it. He's got it, and there's 1 away. And here's Mike Hirschberger. Pascal pitching a beautiful ball game here as he goes into the windup in his pitch to Hirschberger. 3-8 against the righty. That's going to be a triple to 6. That's down for a double. 3-8. The roll is a 19. Yep, that's a 1-out double for Hirschberger, and the tying run is in scoring position. And that'll bring up Wayne Causey. Batty out to the mound to have a few words with Pascal, perhaps buying some time for Klipstein. No, Pascal's going to face him. So Batty back behind the plate. Pascal from the stretch, and here's the pitch to Causey. 2-7. Ball 4, he draws the walk. And here comes Sam Mealy, and that's going to do it now. Pascal seems to have run out of gas here in the 8th. So for Pascal, 7 1/3. 7 1/3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. He walked 1. That batter he just now walked, Causey. That was his first walk he issued in the ball game. He struck out 2, 4. So a beautiful game by Pascal. He just appeared to run out of gas. Johnny Clipstein will come on for Minnesota. I know I tried to bring him in for Kansas City last inning, but yeah, thankfully we corrected that. So Pascal's done. First and second one away, and Billy Bryan will be the hitter. Clipstein, a right-hander, 3.40 earned run average and 40 innings of relief that year. He pitched in this game in real life. So Clipstein's ready to go now. Hirschberger on second, Causey on first, one away, and from the stretch, the pitch to Bryan. That's a 4-8. That's going to be a base hit into center field, and Hirschberger can try to score on that. Hirschberger's fast, 1 through 15. The center fielder is Hall, a 0. He's coming. Hirschberger rounding third. Here is the throw, and he's in there. The game is tied. Holy cow. Bryan, an RBI single. Hirschberger scores. Causey takes third on the throw. So it's all tied up now. And Kansas City still has first and third and one out. And Dick Green will be coming to the plate. The Twins will play the infield at double play depth. They're looking to get out of this with a ground ball. Clipstein, a ground ball pitcher. And here's his pitch to Green. That's a 4-2 to the righty. That's a grounder to third. That's exactly what the doctor ordered. Killebrew to Allen to first, double play. Let's look at that again. 4-2 to a righty, ground ball to third base A. So that is indeed a 5-4-3. And that will retire the side, but not before the Athletics tie it up. With a run on 2 hits, they leave a man. And we go to the bottom of the 8th, all knotted at 1. What a game. Holy cow. Now the question is, what is Alvin Dart going to do? Krause pitched an inning, gave up 2 hits and a walk. Okay, Krause will go out there and begin his second inning of work. He'll be facing Jimmy Hall, Batty, and Bernie Allen. All right, so we got that squared away. Lou Krause ready to work in the bottom of the 8th, all tied at 1. Jimmy Hall, the lefty, to lead things off. Krause from the windup now, and here's the pitch. 4-6, ball 4, he loses him. So Hall's on with a leadoff walk. That's the potential go-ahead run. Let's check Hall. A 7 automatic caught stealing and a 13, so they won't need to hold him on. Hall's no threat to steal. And that'll bring up Earl Batty. Batty 1 for 3 today. He doubled in the 5th. Krause stares in now. And here's the pitch to Batty. That's a 3-6 against the righty. Pop up, right side. Or left side, rather. That's going to be Causey. He puts it away, and there's 1 down. Let's check that again. 3-6. Pop out to shortstop. And with 1 away, Bernie Allen will be the hitter. This could be interesting because Clipstein will come up. They'd probably have to pinch hit for him. Unless, of course, Allen grounds into a double play. So anyway, here we go. Hall at first, 1 down. Krause pitches to Bernie Allen. That's a 4-7, and that's exactly what happens. Grounder down to second. That's going to be Green to Causey. Back to first, double play. So no hits, no runs, a walk, nobody left on. And we're all knotted up after 8 complete. Athletics 1, Twins 1. And that saved Clipstein. He can come out and pitch this inning. He almost certainly would have been removed for a pinch hitter had it gotten that far. So Clipstein getting ready to go to work here in the ninth in a 1-1 ball game. You can feel the tension in the air here in Minnesota. There was, let me see here. I think it tells you here somewhere. What I'm looking for is the attendance. There were only 5,556 people at this game. So there's tension mounting among the handful of people who remain in the ballpark. And here comes Stahl. It'll be Stahl, Harrelson, and Charles for Kansas City if anyone gets on the pitcher's spot. Clipstein ready to go. Lyons and dealing. 1-5, swung on and missed strike 3. And down goes Stahl. That's the second time he struck out today. And that'll bring up Hawk Harrelson. Harrelson 2 for 3. So Clipstein gets the sign from Batty. Here's the windup and the pitch to Harrelson. That's going to be a 1-7. Tapper down to short. That's for Saez. Easy play for Zoilo, who throws him out. Now with 2 away, Ed Charles will be the batter. Clipstein into the windup, and here's the pitch. A 6-5 to the righty. That's a grounder to short X. That'll be for Saez. He's a 2E44. Okay, so here's the roll for the play. It's a 7 on a 2, and he makes the play. So that goes 6-3X, 1-2-3 for Clipstein. And we go to the bottom of the ninth, still knotted at 1 apiece. Kraus comes out for his third inning of work, and we'll have to have a pinch hitter now for Clipstein. Clipstein pitched 1 2/3. He gave up 1 hit, no walks, struck out 1. The run was charged to Pascal. And we need a pinch hitter for the Twins. In the real life, they used Bob Allison in this game. He doesn't seem to be much of a matchup for Kraus, though. Let's see what else they've got. They're going to go with the left-hander, Ted Eulander. That makes more sense to me. So leading off the bottom of the ninth will be Ted Eulander. That's U-H-L-A-E-N-D-E-R, hitting for the pitcher. Eulander batted .226 that year. 367 at bats. So he'll be batting for the pitcher here, leading off the bottom of the ninth. Kraus ready to work now. And here's the pitch to Eulander. 5-3. It's a grounder to first base X. That's going to be Harrelson. He's a 4E18. This could be exciting. Here's the roll on the play. 11. That goes to the error range. It's going to be an 8 on an 18, and Harrelson indeed boots it. That's going to be an E3, and Eulander's aboard. So error Kansas City. Versailles an asterisk 15. He'll have to, I'm sorry, Eulander's the runner. Oh, this is even better for the Twins. He's an asterisk 19. Kraus a 0. Bryant a +3. So that makes him the most it could be, but it could be most it can be is a 19. Held on, he'd be a 17. But he has to roll a 7 to establish a good lead. He's rolling for it. He does not get it. So Eulander's on first. We flip back to the top of the order, and Zoilo Versailles comes to bat. So the potential winning run at first base in the form of Eulander, and he's got wheels. 1 through 16 running. Kraus from the stretch, and here's the pitch. That's a 6-6 to the righty. Pop up, left side. Cossey's there, and puts it away 1 down. And that'll bring up Val Despino. Valdespino's 2 for 4 today. Kraus ready to work now from the stretch. That's a 1-7. Grounder to second, but with a runner held on, that's a base hit into right field. Ground ball A+. That's right. Eulander was held on. That is a single. And the speedy Eulander speeds into third. So Kraus in a lot of trouble here, and here comes Oliva. And here comes Alvin Dark. And that's going to do it for Kraus. So Kraus worked 2 1/3. Gave up 3 hits. Walked a pair. Did not strike out a batter. Oliva coming to bat. Harmon Killebrew is on deck. The winning run's at third base. So the runner on first doesn't really matter that much. Valdespino, though, is an asterisk 15. So not held on, he'd be an 18. God, do they hold him on or just basically give him second base free? If they don't hold him on, he automatically gets the good lead. If you hold him on, he has to roll for the good lead. That's a tough one. And then if he did steal, he might get the overthrow and they would win the game that way. So yeah, I think they kind of have to hold him on, even though his run really doesn't matter. But right now what they need is a new pitcher. So we're going to do the best we can for Kansas City here. They're going to bring in Jack Acker, the closer. Acker, an awesome pitcher in his day. He got a 1.99 earned run average that year and 32 saves, which 32 saves was a ton of saves for 1966. Hell, that's good today. So KC will be over here. Acker will be coming in. The game is on the line. So let's recap where we are at. Eulander's at third. He can run. Valdespino's on first. He has decent speed, and he's held on. Tony Oliva steps to the plate. Acker is ready to go now, and here's the pitch to Oliva. 3-5. That's a base hit, and that will win the ball game. Here comes Eulander, and that'll do it. A RBI walk-off single by Tony Oliva. How about that? That run, of course, is unearned, but that does small consolation to Kansas City. 2-1, the Twins eke it out. Holy crap. So Acker pitched one batter, gave up the single. Acker was faced with an impossible task there, really. A fly ball would have won the game. A deep enough fly ball, that is. Holy cow. So let's see, what does that do? That makes Kraus the hard luck loser whose run was unearned. And Johnny Klipstein picks up the win. Yep. How about that? What a ball game. The Twins had 2 runs on 9 hits, made an error. For the Athletics, only 1 run on 7 hits, and they made 2 errors, and the error by Harrelson probably cost them the ball game. That was the error to lead off the 9th that put Eulander aboard. So Eulander 0 for 1, but he gets a run scored there. He reached on the error by the first baseman, Harrelson. So that's your final from Metropolitan Stadium in Minnesota, where the Twins nipped the Athletics 2-1. God, what a game. Strat-O-Matic, man, I'm telling you. Holy cow, what a great game. Tomorrow's game, let's look ahead, shall we? That will be the Chicago Cubs at the San Francisco Giants, so please join me for that one. Tony, thanks for joining me here again. Always a pleasure. Tomorrow's game I will schedule based on, several factors. I have some errands to run, and of course we have a playoff game in real baseball tomorrow. But anyway, I will post it when I figure out what time it's going to be scheduled. In the meantime, that's all for this one. 2-1 Twins, an exciting, tense game. Tony Oliva walks it off with a base hit. That's all for me. This is Steve Aquilong wishing you all a pleasant good evening. Take care.